Hello, I'm Marcus Schubert, the curator for Shifting Topographies here at Borusan Contemporary in Istanbul. And I was asked one of the most enjoyable moments of putting an exhibition together, specifically this exhibition. Well, you know, the commission that Borusan Contemporary Art gave to Edward Burtynsky back in 2019 was a very large, complicated project, and a lot of the images in this exhibition are premiering here for the first time in the world, and they haven't been seen before by anybody. So one of the more enjoyable things that I'm finding is that seeing these prints in full scale and installed in a gallery situation, which is very special to see the first moment that a full-scale print actually exists on a wall. Especially now too, the ensemble of everything, the cohesion of everything looks to me like a fantastic project. I've only seen it on digital screens and on work prints, but seeing the final prints in frames and on walls that are painted, all the various specifications that we have asked for have been met, and brings me great joy to see that happen. So what's interesting with this exhibition is that, unlike other exhibitions, it's very unique in that I've got a large building, several layers, there's 7 floors. Each floor has offices except for 2 dedicated galleries. So it's the first time that I've programmed office spaces as well. And the duration of the exhibition is for approximately 1 year. So the people who are working in the office spaces that are programmed are going to be able to live with these images for a good long time and get to know them very well. I like that aspect about that. So as you walk through, you see different aspects, different projects of Burtynsky's work. Like all of Burtynsky's work, really it's difficult to summarize in one or 2 words, but I think if I had to boil it down to something very, very condensed, I would say his work has always been about the Anthropocene. So I think more of these images and the collection of works that he's done over the span of over 40 years is a meditation on the Anthropocene. It's about the things that we leave behind by taking things that we need for our daily lives. The things we take out of the ground, out of the sea, and the marks we leave that last for a long, long time, if not forever. So I think the idea of Anthropocene and his project as a long-term project is really kind of the central point of the entire exhibition. One of the interesting things about looking at Burtynsky's work is that the images function on several levels. They function as beautiful abstractions much of the time, but then they also function on an intellectual level when you understand what it is you're looking at. So the interesting thing is that the images affect the viewers on 2 levels. One is from a distance as a beautiful print, as an interesting composition, but then also they attract you to get closer, to look at those details that are in there. And the closer you get, the more details you see. And then ultimately, a viewer will understand the meaning of a photograph, that it's not just an abstraction, but that it's actually an industrial zone with little trucks and buildings, and ultimately it gives you the sense of the real scale of these places that Edward has found and photographed. It's very special work because what we see are subjects that people normally never get to see. So just to be more clear about what I was talking about earlier, in terms of details, this image is a very good example where essentially, if you look at the entire image, it looks like an abstract expressionist painting with lots of marks and lots of saturated colors, and you really don't understand the scale of this work. For instance, this image is probably taken from about 1,500 meters from the ground, and then you can only understand the real scale of what's going on if you get closer to it and start looking at the details, where in fact you'll often see trucks, earth-moving machines, men working, equipment, buildings that betray the type of scale that we're talking about. So that's why people often see Burtynsky's work from a distance first, but then realize that there's something in there that's drawing them closer so they can see these details, and then they understand how big that is and what this really is. Here's a good example in here where there's a gigantic piece of earth-moving equipment, which only catches your eye when you get closer to it. Like all of Burtynsky's projects, there's a lot of research that goes into finding the locations, getting access, and information about each location as well. And this is why I think it's a very important exhibition. As with our other exhibitions, it relates to a very large group of people, from children in high school and grade school to intellectuals and art and people who just love looking at art. One of the things that differentiates Burtynsky's presentations is that we like to present the works with information. Lots of information. Every image, practically every image, has a story behind it. And we share the information that we learn about each location and has made that image with the audience by having didactic panels beside the image that will explain what it is they're looking at.